After almost 2 years out of the ring, Amir Khan returns to the UK doing what he does best. The comeback starts now. Welcome to JD Ringside. I'm delighted to say that this week I'm joined by Anthony $1 Crolla. Good to see you, Anthony.
Good to see you, Anna. Thanks for having us.
Oh, no, my pleasure indeed. Lots of boxing to look forward to on Sky this weekend from Liverpool and, of course, from Brooklyn. Something for everyone.
Yes, a great weekend of boxing. Obviously in Liverpool we've got our own Amir Khan. First time back in 2 years, fighting on British soil. And over in Brooklyn we've got Adrian Broner, so it's a possible fight down the line if both come through. Both got tough fights, but we'll see. We'll see both. I expect Amir to come through a tough fight, on points possibly. Phil Lo Greco very tough. Both really up for the fight. And Adrian Broner, Jesse Vargas is a really tough fight to call. But I think the big fight is there is Amir Khan, Adrian Broner. So hopefully after the weekend that'll be set up.
Absolutely. Well, Andy Scott caught up with our Liverpool headliner earlier, Amir Khan and Phil Lo Greco.
When you're focused on a goal and you have a drive and a motivation, you can do anything you want in the world. For this fight, I'm willing to get knocked out to knock him out.
I don't think he has the power to hurt me, to knock me out. But look, time will tell.
We're going to shock the world. You know what I mean? Phil's really been receptive to everything I've told him to do in training camp, and we've had great sparring partners.
I'm not really nervous, you know. I've done this so many times before. It's another day at the office. Just going to step in the ring, do what I do best. I know myself, I've trained very hard for this fight. Trained extremely hard, knowing that I'm going to have a lot of doubters. I'm going to have a lot of people putting me down, saying to me that, do you still have it? So this is my time to show the world that Amir Khan's back.
Well, Anthony, Amir's return has created a bit of a buzz on social media. This is what a few people have had to say. Steve Parsons says the layoff will possibly affect him for a few rounds. It'll be interesting to see if he still is as quick as he was a few years ago. Will he still have that same speed, do you think?
They say sometimes the first thing a fight loses is speed and reflexes, and hopefully for Amir's sake, not, because that's what his two biggest strengths are, speed, his reflexes. But will the layoff affect him? Yeah, I think it possibly will do. We've got to remember, the last time Amir was in a boxing ring, the last punch he took was that huge overhand right from Canelo. So he might start off a little bit cagey. You know, it'd be expected to. But
will he shake that off quickly?
There we go. Yeah, I think he would do. He's fearless, Amir, but I think it'll do him good to start off a little bit cagey for the first few rounds.
All right, that's Steve Parsons' question answered. Jonathan Round says Khan will win by TKO in the first 3 rounds. World champion again, maybe at welterweight. Is that the best weight, do you think, for him?
Yes, I do believe welterweight is the best weight for him. Looking at Amir then, he was 10-10, he's just weighing at 10 stone 10, he looks in decent shape, and I think that he's got the £3 there to come off. First 3 rounds is a bold shout, it's a big shout there. Phil Lo Greco's been the distance with some quality fighters, and I think if Amir is going to do it inside the distance, it would be in the first 3. His speed shocks so many people. I mean, I know from being a kid sharing the ring with him many a times just how fast he is, and as long as he's still got that speed, it's not disappeared over the last 2 years, then that's the best chance for an inside the distance finish. Me personally, I see a points victory for Amir.
All right, okay, well answered there. Well, Amir's preparations haven't been ideal, I think it's fair to say, with a late change of trainer midway through his camp. So let's meet the man then, who's looking to guide Amir Khan to victory on Saturday night.
Amir's trainer, Virgil Hunter, came down with an illness, which I'm very sorry to hear, and I hope he gets better. So I got a call from Amir. He asked me if I could be in San Francisco. I told him sure. You know, I was, look, Amir Khan is one of my favorite fighters to watch. You know, I'm a fan too. I jumped at the opportunity and we hit it off real well. We trained very hard that first week. You know, I gave him a little taste of what I do, and I think he liked it and appreciated it. I think we know each other's style. I'm not trying to add or throw anything out. I just do what I do. I assess what I'm looking at as the training goes by, and if there's flaws that I see, I let him know about it, and we try to correct it. If there's things that I see that he does brilliantly, I compliment him on it. I don't have anybody else in mind as I'm training, just the subject matter at hand. Let's just say that I've been around for quite a while, and I've had a few successes in my day, but you know, that was yesterday. I'm looking for my next one, and that's going to be on the 21st.
Joe Goosen then coming in as Amir's trainer, excited to be involved. Is it a bit of a risk? It's a new relationship coming in so late in the day.
A little bit risky and at such short notice. Yeah, he's worked well with Virgil Hunter for the last few years, Amir. All will unfold on Saturday. That's all we can do is wait and see. He's got great pedigree, Joe Goosen, and hopefully that rubs off on Amir.
Absolutely. Well, there's plenty of spice in our main event, but there's nothing but love on the undercard.
Well, two of the funniest men in boxing, and Tommy Coyle has joined us. I'm joking.
Superman couldn't find his cape.
That's it. We've seen Superman and Batman in the build-up. So much respect between the two of you. One question to each of you. Who wins and why?
Go on, I'll let the challenger go first.
He's got it, I want it, and I need it.
And the same to you, Masha.
Come and get it, baby. I've got it. I've worked hard for it. I've sacrificed so much just to remain champion because I know Tommy is my toughest opponent, toughest lad, well experienced, well respected. This is going to be, the biggest night of my life so far, and so made sure I prepared the best I can prepare to make sure that I prevail and come away victorious. And the most important thing is both come away with good health.
Yeah. Well said. Can we have a handshake and one more face-off? What do you think?
You can have a hug.
Andy, no one's ever had a bad word to say about you. I mean, Is it hard to get motivated without that kind of grudge?
No, me personally, and I think the two lads we just seen step on the scales in Tommy Coyle and Sean Dodd, it's just a business, and it doesn't matter to me whether I see my opponent a few hours before the fight. I could happily chat to him because I know once the first bell goes, all respect goes out the window and we shake hands after it. So for me, it's not a problem. You
are kind of known as the Mr. Nice Guy of boxing, aren't you? I always say you're the nicest man in and out of the ring. Does that bother you?
No, it's nice to say. I'm not sure everyone else will agree with it, but no, it's like I just don't see it. For me, I've never been the type to be throwing tables about sticking the head on people at weigh-ins. When I say it's just a job, it's just business. I understand that, grudge, a lot of grudge match, everyone loves that, but everyone knows that's going to be a great fight tomorrow, so there's no need for it, and it's pretty refreshing to see them both having a joke and shaking hands and smiling and laughing before it.
But it's not just Liverpool and Brooklyn that a fight's taking place, it's boxing elsewhere. Of course, Frampton back in action, taking on Donaire.
Yes, fight I can't wait for as a boxing fan again. People forget just how good a few years ago Donaire was seen as a possible pound-for-pound number one. Frampton, he's looking to get his world titles back. And Donaire, we'll see what he has left. And if he does have something left, Frampton knows he has to be at his very best to beat him. And that home crowd he fights in front of is unbelievable. The way they get behind him. I remember bumping into him at the airport after the Ryan Burnett show. And he's loved there. He's absolutely loved there. And that makes him raise his game. And I'm confident that he can do that on Saturday night. Be a bit fresh for Donaire. And he's naturally the bigger man.
Right, thank you very much. Now, right, coming up after the break, we'll hear from a former boxer with a story to tell.
I could do something. I could be great. When things hit me, they can break me. They can knock me down, just like in the fight game. It's just like life. But you can get up and you can dust yourself off. You can learn from it, grow, and become better.
So easy. Ain't no stopping this.
Finally, on May the 5th, we go again. I don't care whether your Achilles just fell off. I don't care whether your arm falls off. I don't care whether my leg falls off. I want it more than you. I have to get it.
David, are you a wounded animal or are you humbled?
You're humble, David.
Tell Tony how it turns out, May the 5th.
Bell rings, I come across the ring.
Joking. Really?
Welcome back to JD Ringside. Just 2 weeks to go until the rematch. But Anthony, it feels like we've been waiting for this forever, doesn't it?
Yes, it's the fight all the British boxing wants to see. Can David Haye get revenge over Tony Belliu, as he keeps saying, repeat? And I can't wait to find out the answers on May the 5th. It's going to be a great fight, and I predict fireworks.
Well, you've been up against David Haye's new trainer Ismail Salas a couple of times, haven't you, when you fought Jorge Linares? Do you think he'll be the difference? Will he make the difference?
I'm not sure whether he'll be the difference, but I certainly think he'll be a great help to David Haye. For me, Ismail Salas is one of, if not the most underrated and underappreciated trainers in world boxing. I think he's a fantastic coach. You only have to look at the amount of world champions he's coached, right back from the Cuban amateurs. Just a brilliant trainer and great to watch. His social media, his pad work is brilliant, and I certainly think he will be a help to David Haye. He speaks very well of him, says he's in a great place. But
we'll find out, won't we?
We will. He had a great trainer last time, a great young trainer in Shane McGuigan last time. So we'll see.
Certainly will. Well, both Haye and Belliu have had very memorable boxing journeys so far, with their ups and downs along the way. One former boxer has decided now is the time to put pen to paper about his journey and his toughest battle yet.
Emotion. This is what you're controlling. And this is what makes you professional and do what you were trained to do. Because you have to be like a warrior. You have to have a purpose and a mindset and know that I'm not going to give up.
Look at this, and he's got Prince.
Because boxing shows your character, it shows who you really are. I know it is physical and it's what you do, but it's also your spirit and what you lay on the line. This is what you do. You get up and you find a way to win.
Well done tonight, both of you involved in an electrifying fight. Well done.
Thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed it. Hey, I'd love to say hello to my mum and dad. How you doing, mum and dad? I love you.
I never thought I would actually be a fighter. But when you're in a position at the age of 21 and you've spent the last 6 years, you went away from home from 15, you spent the last 6 years out on the streets and you've got yourself into a lot of problems. I've done something which seems quite difficult for people to do now, which is just stop, reflect, see what is actually happening, what are they accomplishing, and where is it leading? What if I invited a different mindset and I invited to believe something different? What could happen? And I dared to do that. I dared to change what the streets were teaching me. I could do something. I could be great. When things hit me, they can break me, they can knock me down, just like in the fight game. That's why I love the fight game. It's just like life. But you can get up and you can dust yourself off, you can learn from it, grow and become better. It's just a great, it's just, look man, seriously, it was right there. This it's a wonderful little boy, my son, man. I thank him so much because there's so many different ways that my boy could have lived and left me nothing to work with. My son's left me a lot to work with. So I thank Kyan for his character, because his kindness and his loving ways and his caringness really shone out. I've got 3 boys left and I've got 2 girls. They need me. Who's gonna hug them and hold them when they're missing their brother? If I go into house and feel, well, I'll get revenge for Kyan, you can't kill nobody in my family, I'll have you back. That all makes sense, but my actions don't. We don't have the power. We haven't given that authority to take life, guys. We need to focus on ourselves and our purpose, and sometimes things happen so bad, it can throw you off thinking realistically and thinking what's best for you. But hold on, I'm here to tell you that if I can do it, you can do it. Everyone has some difficulties that they're gonna have to face. This is just mine. Sometimes you get knocked down when you're trying to change, you're trying to do good. But what, you're gonna throw in the towel? Be determined and stick to it, just like you would in a fight. Your life is so important to other people. What you're going through and your struggles are so important to other people. And I encourage the young people, always look at your life like a book. What do you want the next chapter to say? And start writing your story. As long as you're breathing, where you have life, you have hope. Do everything that you can to leave a legacy and inspire other people.
Very powerful message from Mark Prince there. Well, I'm delighted to say that Johnny and I are joined by Nigel Travis, who runs the Moss Side Fire Station Boxing Club. Nigel, thanks for coming. What impact has boxing had in your local community?
Obviously, the whole community maybe has a problem and has problems in the past with guns and gangs and knives. And we found a solution doing it to their problems is by engaging with us. Obviously, some of these kids have had a rough start, and sometimes they need a metaphoric arm around the shoulders to be told what to do.
Do you find that you're sort of a second parent, a second set of parents, because it's their issues at home as well as coming into the gym? The gym's the only bit of stability they've got.
Yeah, of course. I mean, some of the kids haven't got parents or are adopted or fostered, so we have a chance to become that second father or second mentor. I don't know what a mentor is, I'm just a boxing coach. You
can relate to that presumably, because if anybody had trouble in your area, it was Brendan Ingle you ended up with in the Winkerbank gym.
You know, I always said to Brendan, I'll never be a trainer, I'll never be a manager, because I saw the commitment he gave to the fighters. Remember, he's a married man with 5 kids, he's got his own wife and kids to deal with. He's not just got the kids that have coming in the gym with all their problems and all their issues, he's also got their parents to deal with, because they want to come in the gym and they want to tell you how to train your son or daughter. And then you've got
some of our parents are already spending the money that Floyd Mayweather earns. They're already planning on having a Bentley or moving house. That's the truth of it.
So it's kind of educating the parents as well, or even you find yourself going to the schools where the kids go to the schools, because if you speak to the teacher, say, look, this is how you get to this young man or young girl, then at least you're working together, and the kids think,
we've got we've got a unique position. The fact that our kids want to be there. Some they don't want to go to school, and there are certain places where they have to go to. They get put on probation. They don't want to go there. So we're a place where they want to come. So they want to come to our gym, and so you're in a fortunate position. You have to use that, that need. You have to use that attraction. You have to use it positively, so we do, and we give them values. We don't just give them boxing skills, we give them life skills.
Boxing still has its critics though, and there are people that can't see the benefit, the amateur boxing, they can't see the benefits that the sport offers. What would you say to those people?
I think the initial criticism is that you're teaching kids how to fight, but these kids already know how to fight. These kids already know how to be bad. These kids know about all those things. What we're trying to do is teach them how not to fight. Teach them how to box. This is not fighting.
Discipline. Discipline, stability. The gym creates stability. That's what your home's supposed to create. So if they find someone outside of their home, if they've not got stability there, and it's in the gym, then you get self-respect, self-confidence, self-discipline, and then you actually don't fight as much on the streets.
The whole ethos of our gym is respect. You walk in our gyms, they're emblazoned on the wall, respect.
Question to both of you, is there more that we can be doing?
I think that, the gyms that prosper in the world, or in any world, you know, in our world anyway, are gyms on council estates, gyms in rough areas, because these kids have a common purpose. They want to do something. They want to be part of something. There are gangs that are flowing and getting massive and massive because they're giving those kids some sort of belonging. If that belonging is a positive belonging, like what we've got, you get in there, you're here at 6 o'clock, you train. If you're not here, you do press-ups, you get punished. So those kids want that. It's a metaphoric arm, but they do it.
A funny story is you drive up Newman Road at Winkerbank when St Thomas's is, and you'd see the likes of Nassim Hamid, Ryan Rose, myself, Harold Graham, Richard Towers sweeping the roads, picking the litter up and everything, and people thinking, how's Brendan got these kids to do that? It's just about respect. Respect your doorstep. You get respect inside an individual, then he'll respect everybody and everybody around him.
Brilliant. Got some really good points there. Thank you for coming in and continue your good work in the community.
No problems at all.
So many good points from the guys there. Anthony, you had to deal with a very different antisocial situation, didn't you, when you confronted burglars back in 2014?
Yeah.
How do you look back on that now? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's, I mean, now for me, it's forgiveness, and you've got to move on from those things. And I've always said I don't know who it was, who the burglars was, and I probably never will do, but I just hope they've stopped doing what they was doing now and they've bettered their life. But Mark Prince, what an inspirational guy, and that's a book that I can't wait to read. It's very, very inspiring, man.
Do you ever draw from your experience and use it?
Yes, of course. It's I remember there's some dark times, dark places, and where I thought my career was over. I mean, that doesn't compare, doesn't touch even a little bit to what Mark Prince has had to deal with. But yeah, the position, the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, certainly was the case with me, and it makes you appreciate things so much more, family. And my boxing, I knew I was lucky to get given a second chance, and I planned on making the most of it.
Oh, well, thank you very much for joining us. It's really good to have you on the show
Thank
this
you.
week.
No, thank you for having us.
It's all good. Very much looking forward to Saturday night as well. Well, since adding another world title to his collection, Anthony Joshua has been mixing with fans and causing mayhem on Oxford Street.
JD Sports, Oxford Street, make some noise for the unified heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua.
I'm trying to achieve something, better the life of myself, my family, people that are close to me, and people then I have a vision to better as well. So I've got my plan and I'm sticking to it and being disciplined with it.
Sky Sports, feel it all.